Hello everybody and welcome to a tutorial on how to mod for Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Now I know what you're thinking, the game's pretty old now, why are you still modding it? Well, it's still widely modded today, especially with the San Andreas multiplayer servers and the Theft Auto servers keeping it alive and people wanting models. So without further ado, let's begin. So what you want to do is get a model format that you can import into 3ds Max, which is usually OBJ, FBX or whatever. So I've already got one prepared earlier. So there we go, the Spec Ops from the DLC in Dead Rising 3. A good model, might be a bit of a challenge because of the leg area, but we'll see how I get on and how much I mess up. So now that we've got the model imported, well, you're obviously looking at that. We need to get the San Andreas tools, which is GTA DF blah 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 cams tools. The link will be in the description for it. So we need to import any random DFF. This is obviously the model format that San Andreas uses. So open up IMG tool or whatever your preferred tool is to get into the GTA3.img and pull out any model you think will do well. For me, I've chose the army because I think it'll be long enough and should match up nicely to the model. So it doesn't take that long, obviously. Now it's best to click onto the model that you've imported and hide it, hide the selection so this is in the way. Then Control and A, select everything including the bones. I mean, there are other ways to like isolate it and keep it in one, but I do it this way because I find it messes up quite less. So once you've actually got it moved into the position, get it just about right, and then it should slot nicely in there. So once you're happy with it being positioned and everything, you need to move in and select the bones, which is the yellow lines you can see. Then right click and press rotate, and now you'll come up with this. I'm sure you'll have a basic understanding if you've used 3ds Max before, but if you haven't, I suggest watching some tutorials so you get the basic functions down. But yes, we just rotate the DFF into place, make sure it matches up well enough to the hands, and then we basically obviously have to do this for each part, making sure it matches up. Ooh. No, I don't want to do that. What am I doing? I don't know. I'm messing up. It's been a while since I've done a tutorial, so you'll have to forgive me if I'm not good enough at it. But yeah, basically all you're going to be doing is posing this up. So I'll skip past all this now since you know what to do, and then I'll be right back. So, as you can see, we've got that all posed up. Seems to all match up nicely and such. So now we can click on our model, whichever you've named it. So if you've called it Spec Ops, you'll know what it is and won't end up like hiding the skin mesh or something. So right click, hide selection, so that's out the way. Then you just click on that. You don't have to click on any bones or Control A everything. Just click on that, then with the tools, go all the way down to Bone Skin Export. Make sure you press Skip Col, because that, I don't know why you need to do that, but it just gets rid of any issues, I'm assuming. Then you press Bone Skin Export, and then name it whatever. As you can see, I've already done it, which is Pose DFF. You can call it something like the character you're ringing, so Spec Ops, Pose Model, whichever. So after you've done that, you can pretty much Control A and delete that out of the way, and unhide your model. Now, OBJ, it's already textured, everything looks good, doesn't it? It's better for me anyway, to export this again But first, always go to element, so editable mesh, then element, Control A, and then in case you need to smooth anything, I'd suggest pressing auto smooth. As you can see, it gets rid of anything and makes it look a bit nicer. It can go both ways, but I usually do it most of the time with my rigging. But yes, it's already that, so I'm sorry, I'm messing up my own words here. I can't speak the English. Anyway, you need to export it again, wherever the folder is, and now press 3DS and then name it whatever. So I've got Spec Ops. Again, it's the same as my OBJ model, but this is like a 3DS one. So yes, don't worry about this. It does that normally no matter what you do. So then we Control A, get rid of that, then go to Import, and then 3DS, and then you can do either merge or completely replace, whichever works for you. No, we don't want to save that. So yeah, it'll come back out, it'll be untextured, so this may be a bit problematic, but don't worry, just go to Editable Mesh, Element, then you select that, and it'll highlight the bits of the model in red. Or I don't know why it's doing that. Highlight the bits of the model in red. So press M and you'll open up the textures. The materials menu, sorry. Now, if you've got a model, which I probably haven't somewhere, I don't even know where the textures are. Yeah, you go to the textures, go to wherever your model is, and the textures, and you've got all. I've got all DDS. Now, to import the textures into TXT Workshop, you need to convert them to TGA, PNG, BMP, JPEG, I think. Basically, San Andreas can't handle DDS textures, so you have to go to like PNG or TGA if it's got alpha in it. Alpha is basically the see-through part of a model's texture. So if you've seen someone's hair in a game, you'll see that you can see straight through it. If you was to extract that model from the game, the alpha doesn't show up properly because you're importing it into a program. So basically that's what alpha does, is make things see through, like glasses, hair, bones maybe. It depends what game it is. But anyway, you got this, you got that. And all you need to do is find the texture that matches to that. So it might be this. And yes, it is. You basically do that for all bits of your model till there's no more greyish white or anything. So I'll let you do that, and well, I'll let myself do that, so I'm not taking up too much of your time. So be right back once more. So once you've made sure you've got your model retextured, I'm falling over my words here. Once it's all textured back up again in its 3DS format, model format, we can now re-import the model that we posed earlier. So that, we go to whatever we named it, which is that, and as you can see it's posed exactly the same way that is. Hide the model once more, Control A, and then basically do what you did before by moving it into position. The way to know if you've got it in position is the lines. As you can see, the lines around here. Always make sure those are like straight, or at least close enough to it. Otherwise, it may mess with your model a bit. You can honestly rig the model posed anywhere in this box around here, but I tend to do it in the middle because, you know, it's the middle, it's simple, it's straight there. Oh, what have I pressed? No, I don't want to press that. Unhide all. Again. And there we go. Just got to make sure it matches up. And move it into place so it knows where it is. My advice is always make sure you can at least match the faces and neck part up as much as possible. Otherwise you'll end up having a weird twisting neck when you rig the model. But there we go, that's everything done. It's all posed up. Now comes the fun part of the rigging. So now you click on the skin mesh, make sure it's, yes, the white bits, click on the skin mesh. Then you go to editable mesh, click on vertex, click yes. Control A so you see so it selects everything with all these red dots around it. That means you've got everything selected. Then you go to edit geometry, press attach, and then click on the model you want to rig it to. Then this will come up. Press match material to material IDs, press OK, and then this will happen. Now all you do is press delete, click off that, click back on skin, and there you go. You've actually rigged something, well done. But it doesn't stop here. Now we need to make sure it's got no bugs, so you have to rotate it. This one seems to have done really well for itself, because it seems to go right where it needs to be. So Control Z, back that into place. Now the legs are the most likely places to be bugged when rigging. As you can see, oof, not good is it? Don't worry, we know what to do. So what we do now is click on the model, click skin, envelope, select the vertex box, and then we just find the bones in the list. So we got right calf, which is this, right thigh, which is that. So let's go to right calf. Hold in and select over all this. See, we've selected all the bits that it's showing. Now what we do is we go to weight properties, abs effects, and then we press 1, boom, fixes that. We keep doing that until we see no more bugs, and that's it. That's as simple as that. You keep doing that along with everything. But let's go on to something a bit more interesting, which is the head. Now, depending on how skilled you are with a model, you could rig the mouth to work with the San Andreas bones. Most modders like myself don't really bother with it, as nobody really pays attention to what's going on with the mouths anyway. But a little trick to help with this, to make sure you rig everything, is to go to envelope, go to head, and if you don't want to rig a model, the model's mouth, like most modders don't, and especially with one like this that doesn't have any mouth movement anyway because it's covered up, you just go like this over it. And the quick way without doing this malarkey is to go to this icon, the weight tool. It'll open up this, and then you press grow, and it'll keep doing that. You press 0 to get rid of all the ones, and then that, and then it does that. Press 0, then press 1, and it really solves all your problems very quickly. Now, depending on your model, it can be complicated with how much is already rigged and how much has got bugs on it. Oh, that seems to have gone all over the neck part. We don't want that, because the neck is going to be the one place that's already rigged up nicely for us. So let's make sure. Nope. Make sure. Yep, everything's all good. Press 0 again, and then 1. And then there you go. Head will be fully rigged. Mouth will be rigged to the head so it won't move, so you won't have any weird bugs. Now for this bit, you'll have to go with spine 1. So this part you'll have to rig to the chest. Since this part doesn't move in Dead Rising 3 at all, we can rig it to stay in one place so it doesn't move with the head at all. So, you know, follow this, same as always, grow that round. and that should get all that. Then you press 0 and 1, and there we go. Now if we check the head, we should see that it's... See that? There you go. It's not moving, this bit is not moving with the head now. So that's it. That's actually rigged up. And basically you'll have to do this with all the mods. If you see any bugs, you'll have to fix them, otherwise they will show in-game in San Andreas and really mess up. Now if I've gone too fast, then you might have to put the video back. But if you're still confused, I will answer any questions, because it's not like I'll be doing anything else interesting over the weekend. So yes, I'll let you learn this, play the video back, and we'll be back after I fix up this model's bugs. So here we go, finally fixed all the legs. Now you may have bugs appear in-game when you think you're done, so if you have, I would suggest going to File and Save, and name it whatever. So we've got Tier 3 Spec Ops DLC 1. So at least then, if something happens, you can reload back up and fix any mistakes. I'd suggest doing this if you're not sure if it'll mess up in game or not, depending on how you work with it. So let's see. Looks like everything should be good. But like always, always test. Just to make sure no bugs appear up. I mean, obviously you won't see heads moving like this, so you may find the occasional one like clipping like this, but it may not matter depending on how you're working with it. Like with the edit tab, with the editable mesh, you can go to polygons or element, whichever works, and you can select like a piece of the model when it's static, not rigged up to bones like this, and you can delete bits that you think might clip through a model, so then they won't clip through at all, so you'll save yourself the trouble of it really. But yeah, looks good so far, doesn't it? So hopefully it'll be like this in game. Always double check to make sure nothing's moving. Like these bits, these will have to stay static, so once again you'll be going to spine 1 and making sure they stay in one place. So there we go, nice and nifty. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And more other sayings that I can't think of right now. But there we go, that'll stop anything moving. And right now, I think that's it. Once you've got your model, something like this, making sure it's not messed up or anything. It doesn't matter if you export it like this, it'll be alright in game, because it sort of redefaults it when it's loaded in game. So we click on this like we did. Now if this comes up, just get rid of this out of the way, it doesn't matter, we don't need it now. Then we go down to skin export, skip call, keep that on, and then bone skin export, and let's name it a random NPC, so we'll name it over 0 for example. Now this may take some time depending on how high poly the model is and how big the texture quality is. So once I've got this sorted and converted the DDS textures into a format that TXT Workshop can use, I will be right back. So once you've loaded up TXT Workshop, I would recommend right clicking it and running as administrator, because sometimes TXT Workshop will give you random errors if you're not running as an administrator. I have no idea why, so yeah. Oh crap. Crap, I need to... So once you've loaded up TXT Workshop, I would recommend running it as an administrator, because for some reason, if you don't, it throws a load of random errors at you. So find any random TXT. I would suggest extracting it along with the DFF if you haven't already done it, because you know it makes it easier. So just grab any random one. Now this is from one of my models that I did, which was Chuck Green from Dead Rising 3. So now all you've got to do is go to something like grab the name of it, which is Spec Ops I. Whatever texture you've applied to the model before you've exported it is what you need to name it so it shows up in game. So save that over, make sure it's compressed, because this will help a lot of textures load properly and avoid any issues in San Andreas. So now all we gotta do is click on this, go to import, and there we go. Straight to it and press I. Huh, that's odd. There we go. For some reason it didn't select the name properly. So yeah, all you gotta do is do that for each one. Also to note, if you use any textures that are like 1024 by 1024 or 2048 by 102048, it may crash TXT Workshop, but don't worry, just leave it till a box comes up asking if you want to continue. Press continue and it'll import it anyway, and that's really all of it. I do apologise if I was a bit too quick, but I'm sure you want a quick tutorial so you know the basics of getting a model into the game. So I will show this model in game once I get all the textures set up. Also, before I forget like an idiot, in TXT Workshop, if we can reopen this again because I'm an idiot. Like just for example, blah blah blah. If your texture contains alpha, aka it's gonna be see-through stuff, all you need to do is go to this, and then whatever you've named it, just press alpha is used, blah blah blah, compress whichever, and it'll compress it up, and then you'll have like an alpha mask and everything. So if you import the texture again that's got the alpha, it'll show up in alpha mask, so it'll show up there with black and white, and then mix view will be both the normal texture and the alpha applied, so you'll be able to see what it looks like and how it'll look in game essentially. So as long as you remember that, you should be solved with alpha. I will be doing a tutorial on alpha on how to solve it model wise if people require it. If they don't and then they find another tutorial to fix it, then that's fine. But yes, let's get in game now without me being an idiot again.